This hunk of mess right here is my childhood favorite RC car. This was something that was purchased from RadioShack way back in the day. I dated around 2007 to 2009 when it came out, and I have to say it was way ahead of its time when it was released, and this thing is an absolute powerhouse back in the day. Now I do have some good news and bad news on this vehicle. The good news is that I'll be doing a build series on this project, but the bad news is that I lost all of the footage of me initially getting it and disassembling it. So what I've done so far is went ahead and ripped out all the stock electronics, and I've already went ahead and test fitted one of my extra motors and ESCs that I have laying around. This castle system actually came out of my RC snowmobile that I had got last year, but that didn't work out, so I'm going to hold off on that project for now and then use it for this project right here. This is a 6S system. It's way overkill for this project, but overkill sometimes mean that we're going to get good results. But nonetheless, we'll see. We're going to upfit it with some brand new electronics that I have laying around, and we're going to try and get this thing going. Now you might say it's probably easier just to go ahead and buy a Traxxas Max or something of a similar size that is already released and just doing a body swap on it, but there's no fun in that. Yeah, I love to build stuff and modify it and make the old new and the new old. So this is one of those times I'll be able to do that. It's gonna take a lot of work. So let's go ahead and see what we can get done. Also, the plan here is to keep pretty much everything stock on this except for the electronics. So that means steering linkage, suspension, everything like that is going to stay the exact same. Now I am having some troubles fitting my new motor and ESC in there, as the transmission looks like it's going to be a little bit difficult in order to make work with my current motor, but that's okay. That's what part of this project is all about. So first things first is, now that I have my motor mounted in there, I'm just going to go ahead and turn it on and make sure that it actually is able to turn the transmission and that everything else works. Okay, servo works. Now let's just do a little. I think this old plastic's not gonna have a chance once I start running it at speeds, but I mean, it works for now. So now what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna go ahead and unplug my system here. And now we're gonna try and at least fit up and get a spot for this. And then I'm gonna see if we can hook up our center drive shaft here, and if not, our servo. From the stock servo, it looks like I'm gonna have to take off the servo horn, and it does look like I have these laterally mounted brackets right here in order for it to mount sideways, as your mounting points are gonna be going perpendicular to what the vehicle is at right now. So let's go ahead and take all this stuff off and fit it on the new servo. Right in there, just like so. Yeah, that should work. I forgot to put the steering linkage on. Okay, I'm not joking when I tell you this. It took me 45 minutes just to get that steering linkage hooked up to the front steering and then to the servo horn. 45 minutes. Please work, please work, please work, please work. Okay, it works, but it's extremely slow. Okay, next order of business, because I am catching a cold, is going to be mounting this ESC somewhere that is going to be accessible. My plan was to mount it here, but my wires are not long enough, and that really stinks. So I'm gonna have to figure out plan B. But in all honesty, before I do that, I am gonna try and get the center drive shaft in. And it does look like I am probably gonna need some new wheels and tires for this thing. Okay, went ahead and got the steering all set up off camera. Now, I think that for the ESC, what I might be able to do is if I mount it sideways, I could possibly get away with just sneaking it inside right here. Yeah, I think that'll work actually. Okay, let's go ahead, let's get this thing on a stand, and we're just gonna test out the front drive real quick. Okay, I got steering. Let's make sure that my receiver and everything else is out of the way. See if we can give it some throttle. Oh yeah. We got some major noise coming from the gears, but I think that's just as expected. I might have to 3D print some or try and find some from a different vehicle. But yeah, regardless, I mean, this thing goes. Thank you guys again for tuning into this video. Next episode, I'm going to get the rear of the vehicle back on, and then I'm also gonna get the body. I'm gonna try and sort out a faster servo for the steering, and I'm gonna do a little bit of a cleanup on it just to make sure that everything is good to go. So make sure you guys stick around for part 2, subscribe, like, and comment. Thanks, guys.